Welcome to Dating Show Earth, where old-fashioned romance meets modern-day hiring. Where you hear all the intimate details of a first date and a job interview. And now, here's the host of Dating Show Earth, Intern Kristie. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome to our new show, Intern of Love. Okay, it's Intern of Love.
It's a great trivia night, as always, here on Radio Free Multiverse. No, it's not a new show.
So, Fluval.
Yes.
Remember when we talked about how this time, like, it's...
Yes.
Fluval.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so remember how we talked about this was going to be Intern of Love?
I do remember that.
And we're going to talk to the networks. We're going to present it, and we're going to show them how versatile we are as a team. And then together, even though you're like sort of sharing like a spotlight, like it's to rising tide rises all ships.
Sure, I mean,
and how the trivia was just gonna be part of the deal.
I'm
This
great
is Intern
at
of
sharing
Love.
the spotlight. I'm better than
Intern
anyone
Love.
else at sharing the spotlight. Look at me sharing it right now. I'm so generous.
You are incredibly generous, Fluval. You are incredibly talented, Fluval. I appreciate working for you so much. It makes my entire life have meaning. And remember how what we're gonna be doing is Intern of Love. It was really cool how you changed it in the title to Dating Show Earth.
You're welcome. You're so very welcome.
So I guess today I, Intern Kristie, and Fluval, Grand Trivia Master of the Grand Aquarium Empire Network, are going to be presenting Dating Show Intern of Love Trivia Earth. Right, Fluval?
That's right. And if you want to play a game where facts actually matter, you can go to Kahoot.it or use the Kahoot app and enter this room code here. Or you can type ! Kahoot.
Hi, Ollie Garden. It's great. So everyone join the Kahoot. And while we're joining the Kahoot...
Yes.
I'm going to share with everyone a little bit about Intern of Love. Hello, everyone. My name is Intern Kristie, and I spend all of my days serving the Grand Trivia Master of the Grand Aquarium Empire Network.
Me, Fluval.
Yes, it's Fluval, and it's such an honor to serve Fluval. But you know, every intern, as worthy and wonderful as their overlord is, can just get a little lonely and really want to meet their other half, their helpmeet, an intern that will be entirely devoted to serving Radio Free Multiverse and Fluval, but also me. And so that's why I'm here on Intern of Love. Tonight, I'll be interviewing. I'm doing so good, aren't I, Fluval?
Sure. No, you're doing great. You're doing about as good as a non-trivia based show could do.
I'm going to be interviewing 3 candidates to be my new potential partner and intern. Let's introduce them. Let's introduce them, Fluval. Let's bring in the potential partners.
Okay, here we go. Here are your potential partners in this non-trivia based show. First,
we have
you go. You introduce them.
We have the first candidate, which I'm so excited to meet, is Slutty Bane.
Hello, Slutty Bane.
Hello, Slutty
Welcome.
Bane. Welcome to Intern of Love. Please introduce yourself. This is your first confessional, okay?
Yes. Perfect. I'm Slutty Bane. I mostly am here for sexual type things and also taking over Gotham. You know, we're sort of weird. Taking over Gotham means fucking all of the time. That's sort of where I'm coming from. I'm like a sexual icon. I fuck a lot. I take over Gotham. I break back. Break up. You know what I'm saying? All right. That's sort of about me. Slutty Bane.
Oh my god.
Slutty Bane.
Thank you so much, Slutty Bane. Our second candidate, our second potential partner, our PP.
Our PP potential partner.
PP.
They're a little PP.
They're just a little PP.
Which PP is whipping out next?
Rickie Jr.
Hello, welcome, Rickie Jr.
Hi there, folks. Rickie Jr. here at Rickie's Just Pizza Pizzeria. Best pizza place in all dimensions. If you're looking for a slice of pie, then come on down to Rickie's Just Pizza Pizzeria. And I do need to clarify that by pie, we specifically mean pizza, because we only sell pizza. We don't sell anything other than pizza. Okay? Just want to clear that up in case any multi-dimensional governmental police were potentially listening to this broadcast at the present moment. Only pizza, but Rickie Jr. is here to find love and a potential partner in business because we're severely in debt. Yes, hi, Kristie.
Welcome, Rickie Jr. Something... I need a confessional real quick. Can I have a confessional?
Who are you asking this for? Rickie Jr.
For me.
Oh.
Wow, I had already met the first two candidates for today. Slutty Bane seems like a barrel of fun and laughs besides. But something about that Rickie Jr. guy just, I'm really not sure if supporting someone else's business is really the right look for me right now in fulfilling my boss babe goals. Now let's meet our third candidate.
The Great Necromancer!
Welcome!
It's so good to be here. I, of course, am the Great Necromancer. I believe many of you know me, both undead and soon to be. I have appeared on the show a couple of times before. I am now a recent graduate of Miskatonic University, and once again, darlings, I am looking for devoted followers to join my army of the undead. Divest yourself of that disgusting flesh suit that you wear and become a perfect soldier of bone and dark magics as we'll ride across the multiverse spreading terror, or whatever it is you want to do.
Wow.
Finally, a contestant with the courage to call out humans' smelly, disgusting flesh suits.
What
You love to see
intro.
it.
Oh my goodness.
I also
Wow.
love to see...
Wow, I'm so wowed by the Great Necromancer. But I'm still, not sure. It's really anyone's game at this point.
Can we cut to my confessional?
Oh, okay.
There was all this talk of romance in the air, but what I really wanted to see was a game where trivia mattered, where facts mattered, where someone could actually get an answer wrong. Just like all these great people who are playing this game. So why don't we play a game where the facts matter by going to our first trivia question?
Okay, we're not going to wait for more people to join.
They can still join, so here we go.
That's a really nice title you put there.
Yeah, it's a much better show because trivia rules. Anyway, here's the first question. Which of these is not a real dating show centered on a celebrity? A Simple Love with Paris Hilton, Flavor of Love, For the Love of Ray J, or Rock of Love with Bret Michaels? Which of these shows were equally hollow and had no reference to knowing trivia at all.
Slutty Bane, what do you think?
Well, I don't think it matters what I think.
No, Slutty Bane's opinion is irrelevant. It's the correct answer.
That is true.
Is a simple love.
Definitely gonna say the word Paris Hilton, because I know these types of things.
Slutty Bane, I'm gonna be real. I didn't understand any of that.
I understood you said Paris Hilton.
Slutty Bane, are you speaking?
It's better if we talk at the same time, so it's even harder to understand what I'm saying.
I got that. Thank you so much, Slutty Bane.
We cranked up your volume all the way, Slutty Bane.
I love that. That's perfect. I'll get a little closer. How about this? Is this better?
Oh, that's much better,
That is
Slutty
actually
Bane.
better.
That is way better.
You like when I'm very close to you? Does that make you feel randy and horny?
Wow, I was so impressed by Slutty Bane's willingness to work with our camera crew and making sure that I could understand them. That really gives points in my book for Slutty Bane.
Speaking of points, Bootleg Bart is in first.
Oh, have we moved on? Are we back to my show now?
Sure.
I mean, our show. This is our show.
Sure, we're back to our show,
This is
Intern
our
of
show,
Love.
and it's running super smoothly.
I think you're doing a great job, Kristie. It's a bang-up show just far.
Wow, thank you so much, Rickie Jr. And Stephen Premmel, you are about to get your wish. It's time for our first question round. That's right. I have 10 questions for all of our PPs for you all to answer, and then that will help me decide who I'm going to hire on as an unpaid intern of my heart.
Ooh.
Let's start with the Great Necromancer.
Of course.
Great Necromancer, when you meet my parents, how would you try to impress them? Please note that my parents are both currently lifeless corpses drifting in this space near the remains of my destroyed Earth. So what would you do to impress them?
Oh, easy, darling. I'd reanimate them and induct them into my army. I'd assume that, given that they are your parents, you would probably want the extra package, which I've been working on. I've actually been getting really good since my graduation at adding just a little bit of sentience back into the skeletons. So if you want, we can work something out. Maybe give them like a month every millennia old.
Wow, what a generous package.
Oh, yeah. I dealt with living creatures while I was at school, and I've learned that you have to give benefits. So I'm working on it.
Wow, that's so interesting. But I am really a little bit put off by the idea of offering employees benefits, even if they are my own parents.
Well, some of the living employees need to sleep and...
Rickie Jr.
Well,
How would you try and impress my parents as they float through space as lifeless corpses? How would you do that?
Well, that's an excellent question, Kristie. I think first I would sit them down at one of my franchise restaurants, get them a nice, large pie, and just let the warm smell of cheese, bread, and sauce bring them back to this mortal plane. And I'm sure they would be so thankful for it that they just might, wink, let me win the pie of your heart.
Okay, cool. Pizza again. Pizza-based option.
Yeah, well, we only make pizza.
Okay, thank you so much, Rickie Jr. Wow, what an answer. Slutty Bane, how would you impress the lifeless corpses of my parents?
Yes. Slutty Bane, when I am trying to attract a sexual partner, usually I start by giving them the eyes.
Oh.
Let's start there.
Wow.
And then I'll do a little bit. How about I do a little bit of this?
Oh, okay.
And
So you
know
would
what?
just hit on my parents
guarantee
immediately.
that by the end of the night, me and your parents will be fucking.
Wow, Slutty Bane, you are so slutty.
I'll fuck anybody.
This first round of questions, Fluval, why have you disabled my ability to dictate the scenes, Fluval?
I didn't.
You didn't? You
No.
didn't disable it, Fluval? Fluval.
What?
I know you did it, okay? Give me my confessional.
Oh, you want a confessional? Sure.
I'm really excited for the network executives to see how well we work together as a team. I was going to comment on all of my potential partners' answers, but I just wanted to take this confessional time to tell you how much I appreciate working for you, Fluval, how much I appreciate you in every single way, and how much I appreciate you supporting me in my efforts to make this show more attractive to network executives of this place that we work.
You know what? Also, I think
Of the network.
you know what I think would also make it more attractive to those great, benevolent, wise network executives.
What?
Spicing it up with a little bit more trivia. So here we go. Question number 2. True or false, Blind Date is a dating show where contestants go on a date in a pitch black room. Is that true or is that false?
Ooh.
Do you know the answer, intern competition show?
I don't. Do any of the potential partners, have any of you seen this show?
I've seen it. I'm not a PP, but I've seen it. It's false. Blind Date is a dating...
Blind Date, but I've seen Blind Bake, a truly dangerous show where people bake things in the dark. All measurements are done without visual confirmation, and the results are quite horrifying.
Well, Blind Date isn't that show. Blind Date is a dating show where cameras followed 2 daters as they went on a blind date. The show's producers then added commentary to the footage using subtitles, animations, and thought bubbles. The show where contestants date in a pitch black room is, appropriately enough, called Dating in the Dark.
Oh.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It absolutely does. So, Fluval, should we go to the leaderboard, like you usually do? Because if we're going to be doing a combined show, I need you to
where
remember your
Pizza the
cues.
Fatson is in first. Rickie Jr. should be happy to hear about that. Blogtoven in second, Bootleg Bart in third, Ish in fourth, and a little PP in fifth. But I guess we can go back to your PPs right now.
Yay! Okay, we're back to my PPs. We're back to my show. I mean, our show.
Yep, sure, our show. I definitely support this non-trivia based show.
Ooh, we want a confessional. Who do you want a confessional from? That'll be a thing. The audience, you guys can ask for confessionals from any of us, and then we'll give you a confessional if we feel like it. But I'm really excited to hear from Slutty Bane in a confessional before we get to our next question, getting to know our potential partners.
Now, at this point in the show, I'm feeling pretty confident. If I'm being honest, I put myself out there quite a bit, and I have yet to not fuck anyone. So,
Wow, what a confessional. Thank you so much, Slutty Bane. And Fluval, do you want to do a confessional? We're on this show together and we're doing it together so you're supporting my show, my efforts that I've been putting in for you. You'll just show face and give just a little bit of your status that you bring to the show to get this in front of the network to help out the person who's been working so hard for you for millennia.
I wanted to change hats.
I must say, Fluval, you look stupendous in that new hat.
Thank you. I look very dashing.
A 5 o'clock shadow as well, or is that a skull showing?
Oh, it's 5 o'clock shadow. It's no skull right in there. Yes, Slutty Bane, do you have a question?
I would smash. I would smash.
Oh, you would smash?
Oh.
You would smash?
See?
Oh.
They would smash.
I would smash. I would never smash.
Sure.
I am the thing that smashes. Oh wait, that's a different. Never mind.
I mean, I would never. I would say that I would never deign to try to crush or destroy Fluval because I have certain media contracts with the Radio Free Multiverse Society.
Yes, I am CBC 9000.
The networks, yes, but also, you know, of course, I respect Fluval and all that.
It is okay if Fluval is feeling sexually unimaginative because I have enough imagination for the more than once.
That is amazing to hear, Slutty Bane.
That was a good spin on that question. I gotta compliment imagination when I see it.
But are you ready for my question number 2? Contestants, what would you say is your greatest weakness, and how can I extort that for my own financial gain? Let's hear from Rickie Jr. first.
Well, Kristie, that's an excellent question. I would say one of my greatest weaknesses is that I am unwilling to part with a failing business that is constantly being raided by the Multiverse Police Department. So I would say that you could definitely exploit me by essentially taking control of my business and dictating the direction it goes because I'm here for the long haul. Rickie Jr. is, well, institutional at this point. It's a family business.
So it sounds like your greatest weakness would more lead to me having a lot of extra work rather than financial gain. Are we being unimaginative in the ways that we can like scam insurance, burn down the business, maybe stage some sort of coup, take over the entire planet?
Well,
turn them into a skeleton army. I'm just throwing things out there. I'm just giving you a little bit of a chance, Rickie.
I will say skeleton armies are amazing. I heavily recommend them.
If I had the money to be able to hire a skeleton army, I would, but I basically own, operate the business 100%. So
I have a second question for you, Rickie Jr. Are you still going through puberty? Because I am eons old.
Well, technically, still is a strong word. I started working when I was 16, and it kind of seems like everything just sort of froze at that point. I've been doing this for about 30 years now.
Oh, interesting. Okay. A time-isolated pizza parlor. Ooh, that has options.
Oh, it does? Oh,
that's so interesting. At first, I wasn't very impressed. Wait, thank you, Fluval. At first, I wasn't particularly impressed with what Rickie Jr.'s weaknesses were and how I could exploit them. But after hearing about the sort of like time-isolated pizza parlor, I can think of a lot more interesting things. Rickie Jr. is still in the game.
Wow. I can't believe you still tolerate Rickie Jr.
Well, I mean,
I did hear that.
Good.
Yeah,
okay.
it's a confessional, Rickie Jr. Duh.
I'm not here to make friends, Rickie Jr., okay? And you have to understand that.
Oh, I understand that, Fluval, and I appreciate your honesty, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Slutty Bane, what is your greatest weakness and how can I exploit it?
I have been told that I have an addiction problem. My addiction is taking over Gotham and also fucking. But I feel like taking over Gotham would be more applicable to your skill sets. Unless you want to do the fucking too. I'm open to all of it.
Okay, so biggest addiction is taking over Gotham. You
Yes.
just cannot stop.
Fucking more recently, but like in the past I've been known to take over a Gotham or two.
That is very interesting.
Ooh.
I love the idea of control of an entire city of just people so beaten down by the absurdity of the horrors that they are forced to see every single day. You know, that has potential.
There is a Gotham Earth,
There
by
is
the
a
way,
Gotham
Stephen
Earth.
Premel.
We will be going there.
I would say generally my plan is to like take over Gotham, but then like free it, like liberate the people. Look,
Sort of a nebulous
talk
goal.
around some other ideas. The liberation is sort of like, I'm just saying it, and then it's like, oh my god, but then like it's not really that, because I'm in control of it all.
I got like half of that.
It sounds like
I
your
have a backup
layer,
question.
your plan is like an onion.
Yeah. Wait, I have a backup question, Slutty Bane. What do you plan with doing? What do you plan to do with all of the police?
I'll just put them underground.
Just put them
Put them
underground.
underground.
Well, see, the thing with police is if you say, hey, there's some stuff underground, don't go down there. You can just blow things up, and then they're stuck underground, and you can like freeze the rivers, and then when people are like, oh, we're gonna fight back against you, you can just tell them to walk out on the river, and they'll just do it. Apparently, I don't know. With that. Also,
They'll
how do you
just
freeze
leave the
river?
caves
And
underground?
Some of these
That's
questions are questions you
interesting.
can't really answer. They just happen.
It sounds like there is another time-isolated fortress under the streets of Gotham. Perhaps only for cops. If they are underground, they will remain in some sort of stasis until reawakened to fight
Kristie.
in the streets. Yes?
Kristie, that's the Batcave. That's the Batcave,
Oh.
Kristie. It always
It's-
has been.
Time-isolated? The cops were just hiding out in the Batcave?
It's Batman. He's not enough of a cop for you? Come on. Oh, God. Kristie, did you bring a studio? Did you send me
Oh, a studio cat! Wait, let's get the studio cat. Let's do a confessional with the studio cat.
I mean, I would have understood if you'd sent me like a black cat or a sphinx, but a tabby, Kristie. What are you thinking?
Do you have a bat cave? Or perhaps a cat cave?
And are there do you have a skeleton crew of skeleton studio cats?
Well, it's more that I have a planet cloaked in darkness, wreathed in bones, in the center of which my mother Death sits, awaiting the moment when I have killed all living beings so that I may release her and we may be truly free once more. But there's, a snack bar for, again, I've had to invite people over, sponsorships are a nightmare if everyone's dead, so...
Wow.
Speaking of people who gain power from their family, I think it's time for our next trivia question.
Wait, give me a second.
And there we go. Here it comes. Trivia time. Question number 3. On this 2014 dating show, 12 Americans competed for the affection of which royal's doppelganger? Was that Prince Andrew, Prince Charles, Prince Harry, or Prince William? Do you know? Do any of you know the answer? So, the show had 12 Americans competing for the affections of someone who looked just like, yes, Prince Harry. The show was I Want to Marry Harry on Fox, and it aired from May 20th to June 11th, 2014. Prince Harry was actually Matthew Hicks, who worked at an environmental consulting firm. And you better believe it, I got a Fluval's fact fractal for you. In a 2015 interview with Fusion TV, contestant Kimberly Birch explained that the production crew, quote, really messed with us, unquote, and, quote, were really trying everything they possibly could to convince us that Hicks was Harry, including having a member of the crew pose as a therapist who told the contestants that they needed to stop doubting the situation. Ultimately, it was compared to brainwashing.
Wow. That sounds like my kind of dating show.
That sounds like, now that's a dating show. Anyway, which of you knew it? Well, Bootleg Bart, dude, they're back in first. A Little Pee-Pee's in second place. Pizza the Fatson in third. Ish in fourth. And Stephen Premel in fifth. Yes, it is really messed up. You are correct. It's a very messed up dating show.
I
That
love
reminds me, quite a bit of the way that I brainwash the people of Gotham, and also the way that I sometimes gaslight people into having sex with me.
Oh my god! Slutty Bane, I'm so pleased with your forthright honesty.
Look, no one said Slutty Bane was a role model.
Oh, the Great Necromancer, are you having an issue with spirits behind your beautiful curtain?
No,
there?
your studio cat is in my walls.
Oh,
Good.
Yeah, they do that. They
How
do
did
that
they
sometimes.
get in the walls, Kristie? How did they
do
get
that
inside my
sometimes.
walls?
You know, no one really knows. It's sort of like how everything doesn't operate when they're not there. Studio cats just kind of are.
Okay,
It's
I
possible
think
they got in through the same portal as the rats.
Yes.
What?
We also have a lot of rat portals. But that's not what we're about to do. Because speaking of dating shows, let's get back to Intern of Love with our third question. All right, contestants. My favorite hobbies are trivia.
Yes.
And destroying planets. What are your favorite pastimes? And why are they less interesting? Let's start with the Slutty Bane.
Yes, my hobbies include crashing planes who know survivors,
Okay.
or as I like to call it, joining the Mile High Club. I've also been known to, break backs, put people in deep pits. Sometimes the pit send something back. You never know. You never know.
Ooh.
And
I love a
yeah,
pit.
fucking. A lot of fucking.
Okay. Well, that's very interesting. Thank you so
Thank you
much,
so much,
Slutty
Slutty
Bane.
Bane.
It's so interesting, just less interesting than trivia and destroying planets.
Thank you for all
but
that
it's
non-falsifiable
of a theme.
information.
It's of a theme, I like throwing people into pits. It's of a part with destroying planets. Wonderful. Rickie Jr., what are your pastimes?
Well, Kristie, I like to cook, and I like to make people feel comfortable. I also like spending time with my buddies, Rat and Bulldog, who come over for poker on Saturday nights.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, yeah.
Bulldog is such a good boy.
He's a very kind gentleman.
Can you make a plane out of pizza?
Yeah, can you make a plan out of pizza?
A pizza plane. Now, I haven't tried, but I'm not going to say it's not possible. There's plenty of things I can make out of pizza.
List them.
Well,
Or some of them.
Have you ever seen those Easter Island heads? I made one of those out of pizza once
Ooh.
by wrapping a pizza around a wine bottle and then decorating it with various sorts of vegetables and pepperoni. It was horrifying, but it was dang delicious.
Can you make little pepperoni propellers like Josh Fats in Montgomery suggests?
Yes.
Pepperoni propellers. Now, if I were to make a plane out of pizza, then I would instead of using pepperoni, I would probably use sausages, because you could probably get 4 of them spinning real fast on that nice slick cheese.
Okay, wonderful. That sounds so wholesome. I need a confessional, Fluval. When Rickie Jr. said that they had made an Easter Island head out of pizza, I got really excited. But then when I heard that it was just a scale model and not a full-sized one, I got super disappointed. That's just not the kind of lack of creativity I'm looking for in a potential partner. The Great Necromancer, what are your hobbies?
Oh, well, I've expanded quite a bit. I mean, obviously, turning Haunts of the Undead is the most enjoyable thing, but I've opened up a line of bone care products. I'm working on, several sponsorship deals with various planets where I sort of come in as a proxy ruler and kill everyone in their entire planet.
Wow.
Sort of, streamline the process of dictatorship for them. A very interesting sort of thing for working with there.
I admire your hustle.
You've always got to grind, grinding tissue, grinding flesh, grinding everything you get your hands on.
Magnificent. Thank you so much, the Great Necromancer. Now, let's get to our next question, right, Fluval?
Absolutely. It's time for our next question. We were talking about dating shows. That's also what our next question is all about.
I meant my questions.
ABC's The Bachelor debuted in what year? 2000, 2001, 2002, or 2525? Seen here is someone watching The Bachelor with rapt attention. Have you watched The Bachelor? Have any of you watched The Bachelor, OPPs?
No, sorry. It's about making more living things, right?
That's a good point.
Unfortunately, yes, but the correct answer is 2002. The first season premiered on March 25th, 2002 with Bachelor Alex Michel. He didn't propose to winning contestant Amanda Marsh, but they did enter a relationship which lasted several months. Yes, the rats in the walls were also paying attention,
Yes.
Stephen Premmel.
Those rats. They're in those walls.
Yeah. So is the leaderboard.
Heart is under the floorboards.
Well, a little PP score sure isn't below the floorboards because they're rising up into first place. Bootleg Bart in second, Pizza the Fatson in third, Stephen Premmel in fourth, and Ish has a streak with 3 correct answers in a row. Congratulations to Ish.
Congratulations, and congratulations to all of you, because we're back to Intern of Love. Our next question for our contestants. Rickie Jr. I don't find you remotely attractive. Tell me about a hotter friend that you have.
A hotter friend that I have?
Yes.
Well, I would say that a hotter friend would probably be, my more successful friend from high school. She did not inherit a failing business of 3 generations. Instead, she went into politics and became one of those sexy lawyer people that help get businesses like me out of hot water with the BPD. So not only is she girl bossing it all over the multiverse, but she's just a damn fine human being.
Wow. That sounds not like what I'm looking for.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You should be.
That's okay. What about, that's the problem, is I do find the Great Necromancer and Slutty Bane remotely attractive. So I guess we'll just go back to your question, huh, Fluval?
Sure, here we go. Question.
Is it Ally McBeal? Are you friends with Ally McBeal?
Adam McHale?
Ally McBeal!
Ally McBeal, the sexy female
Ally
lawyer.
McBeal?
With unisex bathrooms where people hook
Sexy
up.
lawyer! Ally McBeal, sexy lawyer! Rickie,
Yeah.
are you friends with Ally McBeal?
No, but I am friends with the dancing baby that she hallucinated on multiple episodes.
I'm talking to Rickie! Sexy lawyer friend, is it Ally McBeal?
Are you friends with Ally McBeal?
You got me. It's Ally. Oh,
How dare you try to deceive us, Rickie Jr.
That's right. CPL 33020 says, hold out for better. And you know what? I think I will. Oh, look, the studio cat is back.
Yes.
Hello, little studio cat. That looks like a
me.
studio kitten to me. Is that the truth? Is that something you perceive?
I have no clue. I sense that there is a lot of life energy in it, and I really don't like that. I can get rid of it for you if you want. I can make it better. I can make it beautiful. I can make it perfect. Would you like me to do that? Would you like me? Would you like me to kill this cat?
No, but Speaking of getting rid of life energy, let's go to our next trivia question. A murderer appeared as a contestant on which dating show? Love Connection, Love is Blind, The Dating Game, or Will You Murder Me?
Yeah, I'm sort of here for the Skelly Cat.
Skelly Cat does sound pretty nice, but we need them to keep the studio running,
That's
so
true,
don't deplete
we
us of our
do.
resources.
Listen, just give me a couple. Just give me a few. I can make you. We can work out a trade. You give me a couple interns, and I give you some skeleton cats.
What if? I mean, look. Honestly, it's more available resource to us to give to you to kill to turn into skeletons as interns. So what if I just send a few of those your way? I have this one Arthur from NASA.
Ooh,
we
yeah.
can just send him along. So that could work out. Are we on a question?
Well, that was that question completed, but now we have the leaderboard.
Wait, I'm sorry, Fluval. We have to back up.
What?
Are we just gonna skirt past that there was a murderer
No,
on a dating show?
I was gonna give more details. Murderer Rodney Akala won a date with Bachelorette Cheryl Bradshaw, who refused to go on his date with him because Rodney was, unsurprisingly, too creepy.
How'd he win?
He's now in San Quentin. Well, he was the contestant.
And he won? But
Yeah.
he was too creepy to go on a date with?
Listen.
I just report the facts. I can't explain all those small details.
Did he kill someone after? Or had he already killed?
Yes.
Yes.
I believe yes is
He
the
had
answer.
already killed and killed after?
Yeah.
And he was very charming. Flowing dark hair and
Wait, yeah.
wide V-neck
So he went to
shirt.
prison for 5 murders committed between 1977 and 1979, and he was on The Dating Game in 1978, and he was introduced as a successful photographer who got his start when his father found him in the darkroom at age of 13, fully developed. Between takes, you might find him skydiving or motorcycling, and the fellow bachelor contestant who was on with him later described him as a very strange guy with bizarre opinions. And he won the competition and a date with the episodes of Bachelorette Cheryl Bradshaw, who subsequently refused to go out with him because she found him creepy. Criminal profiler Pat Brown noting, yeah, he killed people after, and they're like, well, maybe that's why. It's like,
What?
no, I don't. Let's not blame the contestant for that. Let's blame the murderer.
With bizarre opinions, like killing people is cool.
Very cool. It's the coolest thing.
Murder is amazing. Intern Kristie, what is your favorite murder? Yours, Stephen Premmel. My favorite murder is yours. The murder of you when you die. Here's the confessional music.
That's also Premel's favorite, which is interesting and honestly quite surprising.
I can make that happen.
We can arrange this. But let's move on. Let's see.
This might be the worst that Single Walk Run has done on any Kahoot ever.
It's okay. I'm starting to think that this is the worst that we've done on any combination trivia dating show ever, Fluval.
I'm
It's
killing
almost
it.
like we thought we were on the same page, and then it turns out we're completely on not the same page, and instead of doing an incredible hybrid show, we're doing a substandard version of both shows.
I think we're as great as a combination Taco Bell and KFC. Hail me indeed, Jess Fats in Montgomery. Hail me indeed. Why don't you get back to your non-falsifiable questions, intern Cupid?
Thank you. Slutty Bane, if you were to take me out for a romantic dinner and I found you offensively boring, where would be the best place to dump your body? Speaking of murder.
I mean, probably the sex shed. The shed.
Sex shed?
The sex shed.
Won't someone check for you in the sex shed? Or do you have people coming to your sex shed? Do
When I
people know where it
die,
is?
just leave me in the sex shed.
We should leave you in the sex shed?
When I die, just leave me in the sex shed.
It kind of
Wait, are you saying sex
like
chat or sex shed?
Sex S-H-E-D, sex shed.
Sex shed.
You know, Slutty Bane, the tax of that sentence is
When I die, leave me.
So what
in
you're
the
saying then is that you will die in the sex shed. This is something you know ahead of time.
Right.
That's where you will die.
If you die elsewhere, should we bring your body to the sex shed?
Yeah, bring it to the sex shed, put it in the sex shed, leave it in the sex shed.
Okay.
Well, that sounds like a
Nice.
definitive answer. Thank you so much, Slutty Bane. Rickie Jr., where would I hide your body?
Oh, just about anywhere. The giant garbage cans out back of the restaurant would be great. I mean,
That's convenient.
Yeah.
Oh, Slutty Bane, is something happening?
What?
You just went completely red. Are you overwhelmed with rage and about to murder everyone in your vicinity?
I have no idea. I may have switched windows and was checking a few other things. Well, it wasn't my turn to speak.
Trying to multitask and you got caught.
We caught you, Slutty Bane.
We caught
It's
you.
possible that I hopped on Tinder real quick to just explore my options.
Well, that's
Ooh,
appropriate.
That is appropriate. How slutty.
one
What can I
VBR.
say? I'm a big slut. I'm Slutty Bane.
Oh, chop him up and put him in the pizza oven. That's not a bad idea.
It's
Ooh,
not.
So many options.
You
So
turn
many
those things up.
options.
Yeah, you basically just got charcoal.
Of course, Great Necromancer, you do not have a body.
CBC had it first.
Well, I would say it's almost more accurate to say that I have many bodies. So if you manage to dive to the center of my planet, find the sword, wrest it from the breast of my mother, find every single one of my bodies and get rid of all of those bodies, I'd say the best place is probably to put it back on my planet.
Oh,
Let
okay.
me go back to my mother, please.
That's
Interestingly practical
fascinating.
answer.
Yeah, very practical. Well-
Listen, when it comes to death, I'm nothing if not practical.
I love that. I love someone who's organizing and also skull bossing their way across the multiverse.
Every day.
So hashtag skull boss. That's something that the Great
Hashtag
Necromancer told me over coffee.
I'm workshopping slogans. So hashtag skull boss, Great Necromancer for unlife.
For unlife. Love
Yes,
that.
CBC 9000 making a incredible allegation that did you merely adapt to the darkness, CBC 9000? I mean, Great Necromancer.
What an accusation. Did you adapt to it or were you born there?
Well, I crawled out of my mother Death's womb from the darkness into the blistering, disgusting light that you all seem to love so much.
I wonder.
And I'm trying to bring it back to the darkness. So I'd say, if anything, I was dark before it was cool.
I wonder, when you first saw that light, was it nothing to you but blinding?
You could say I was blinded by the light.
You feeling that?
Incredible.
But before we get back to trivia, I think it's time to play an ad for some of the great content that you can find right here.
They've traveled far and wide together, overcoming every obstacle, but now they'll get closer than they've ever been before. Watch as two become one. Romantic Centipede, only on Radio Free Multiverse.
That's right, Romantic Centipede. Coming up right here. But now, let's get back.
Not produced by me, but
I
still
would
a
say-
really great
I would-
option.
Yes, I would fuck the centipede, yes.
Good. Hey,
Oh, good to know.
Yes, smash.
yeah, these are key questions. Thank you for adding that, Slutty Bane.
Yes.
But speaking of important questions, here's question number 6 of our trivia. What is the dating show where lowly humans go on dates while disguised as human-animal hybrids? Is that Birds and the Bees, Fantasy Dates, Sexy Beasts, or Married by Dr. Moreau?
Oh, Oh my god.
Oh my god, indeed.
I love the idea of Married by Dr. Moreau.
Well, 7 of you got it right. It's Sexy Beasts, which was released on Netflix in July 21st, 2021. In season 1, the episodes were Emma the Demon, James the Beaver, Carousel the Panda, Ibrahim the Wolf, Nina the Dolphin, and Kalishi the Rooster. After we go to the leaderboard, we're going to look at some of these incredible creatures. What was 44 years ago? The show came out 44. Oh, I mean, yeah, whatever. Here's the leaderboard, where not much changed, but it shows the highest answer streak of 5. And here are some of those sexy beasts.
Oh my.
Oh dear.
That dolphin.
The dolphin is my favorite.
Smash, smash.
Okay, Sexy Bane would smash, Slutty Bane would smash all of them. Would there be a human roly-poly?
Would there be a human roly-poly?
Would a human centipede be a human roly-poly?
Would there be a Jesus to fuck?
These are all important questions.
It sounds like the answer to this is yes.
I also have a question, which is, if not you, Kristie, then what intern is running the romantic centipede?
That would be my, another intern who I super respect. I respect him so much and all the work that he does for Radio Free Multiverse. Intern Kevin.
Intern Kevin knocking it out of the park as always with Romantic Centipede.
Yeah, but like once Intern of Love gets off its feet, I'm sure it's totally going to compete with anything.
Why don't you prove that this show should be able to compete by doing your next question, huh?
Okay, yay! Thank you so much for working with me, Fluval. Contestants.
Kristie, I can't quite see you.
But you can hear me, can't you, Rickie Jr.? Can't you?
Yes,
can you hear me? Okay. Being adaptable, that's an important part of like being my partner.
Being adaptable, that's an important part of being my partner.
You know.
Oh, me too. Being adaptable, that's an important part of being my partner.
Yeah.
Are we repeating things? Is this what we're doing? Are we doing a call and response? I can get behind that. I think maybe I can
get behind that too.
I don't know.
Like sex behind. Like when you're
I'm not used to it, so
like sex from behind. Behind that.
Sure. Contestants, if I asked you what your favorite movie was and you were to answer Fight Club, explain to me why that's the wrong answer. Slutty Bane, you go first.
What do you mean? That's the right answer.
That Fight Club is their favorite movie? You have no explanation for why that's the wrong answer?
Yeah, there's a fuck scene in Fight Club. Pretty good.
There is indeed a fuck scene in
That
Fight
is
Club.
true.
So it's interesting to hear what you are primarily focused on, Slutty Bane. Like, I get that you're slutty. Wait, I need a confessional. Fluval, I need a confessional.
I think Slutty Bane's been pretty transparent so far in what really motivates them and you know what they're into.
That's true. When I first met Slutty Bane, I thought, wow, they're really into being slutty, but maybe there's more to this person than meets the eye. And now I'm thinking, no, it's all there. It's all surface.
I mean, they do like taking over Gotham.
They do like taking over Gotham. That's very true. Fluval
and breaking
Club,
the back
that's cute.
of the bat.
Should we make a Fluval Club? Fluval?
We don't talk about Fluval Club.
What about you, Great Necromancer? Why is Fight Club the wrong answer?
Oh, because it's not my favorite film. My favorite film is The Black Cauldron.
Oh!
Yes, second only, or right in front of, that is to say, Full Metal Jacket. I love so many hours of torturous human suffering is amazing. But I will say that when I was younger, The Black Cauldron was a certain aspirational film, and I've just never gotten over it.
Wow, that's so interesting and exciting. I love the idea that from a young age, you already knew what you wanted and what you were going to be working for. Hashtag school boss.
Hashtag school boss. I mean, I was born with my intent deep in my undead belly the moment that I saw daylight. So every single action that I have taken since gaining consciousness from the mass of death at the ball of my planet is, it all sort of goes in one direction. I haven't really had any sort of crisis of faith. I know that a lot of people experience that, but it's kind of hard to be like, oh no, death doesn't exist, it's not real. It's like, no, you die.
I don't.
Wow.
I don't.
Kreml has the feeling that Rickie Jr. only works Harmony Korine films. I don't know what those films are. Explain that to
Harmony
me,
Korine
Rickie
made.
Jr.
Okay, fine. Go for it.
Explain
Rickie.
that to me, as well as why Fight Club's the wrong answer.
Now, what do you think Harmony Korine films are?
That's an excellent question, Fluval. I was actually going to ask you what, since you're the trivia master, to answer this trivia question for us.
Have you seen Spring Breakers?
No, I have not.
Have you seen Kids?
Nope.
Then I don't know if you've seen a Harmony Korine film.
Are they coming of age films with like lots of pop songs? What's like their vibe?
Is it like Stand By Me?
No, it is not like Stand By Me at all.
Is it like Stranger Things?
They're strange.
Wow.
They're certainly strange, I'll tell you
Yes, it is,
now.
apparently, according to Stephen
Are you
Kreml.
familiar with Gummo?
No.
What?
Are you familiar with Gucci Men's Tailoring Campaign? Because apparently that's what he's up to now. Yeah, are you familiar with the Beach Bum?
Also, no.
Okay.
He was a segment director on David Blaine, Magic Man.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. That is not what I would have thought.
I have heard of David Blaine. I tried to get him for some kids' parties, but he's too big. He doesn't do small venues like ours.
Why can't we rent Finn's Gummo around Studio Cat?
Because Harmony Korine movies are a lot.
What does that mean?
Someone kills cats in Gummo.
Oh, poor Studio Cat.
Listen, I think that sounds amazing.
Do you have a beach bum
that?
tattoo? That's true, Great Necromancer, but you have the ability to transform them into skeleton soldiers, so it's a little bit different.
Yes, and I will say, long term, we are working on figuring out a solution for all of the already dead skeletons. There is a significant backlog in all of the planets that I have currently conquered. So rest assured, if you are still dead, we will get to you eventually. By the eventual heat death of the universe, you will be resuscitated.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, all of our contestants. Fluval.
That's right. We talked about sexy beasts on the last question, but that's not the only unorthodox dating show that we're going to talk about. One will be the subject of question number 7. We're over halfway through trivia. Here we go. On MTV's Date My Mom, contestants went on dates with 3 moms who tried to convince them to date their kid. Is that true or false?
Wow. Okay. It's not about a kid trying to convince someone to date their parent.
No. It's true. 7 of you knew it. Date My Mom aired on MTV from 2004 to 2006.
It sounds like an absolute train wreck. I just gotta say.
They had to determine whether or not they would date their kid.
Why is it not called Date My Kid?
Because, you know,
We all did. What
MTV was just centering the experience of the youth over that of the more aged members of society who really were the core of the show, if you think about the fact that there were 3 times as many of them on each episode, and then you had to decide, am I gonna date their kid? Based solely on their description of their kid, which, as we know, is always entirely accurate.
Yep. Because who knows us better than our parents?
But
Mine
I
are
don't.
lifeless corpses in space.
Yeah, not much change, but Pizza the Fatson's 6 correct answer streak
Ooh,
continues.
congratulations.
That's the beauty of questions you can get wrong, unlike your non-falsifiable questions that you have
people
for
still get points
your
and someone
people,
still loses.
your
Like,
potential
there's-
partners, your PPs.
There's still an element of winning and losing. We talked about this, Fluval. Like, it's a competition.
I do like that it's a competition.
It's like blood loss, but it's just loss. Like, people are in pain. Like, this
Oh,
is really good for
Stephen
us,
Primal
Fluval.
wants to see a confessional from the Great Necromancer about how Mother Death would describe them.
Oh, well, Mother Death doesn't really speak per se. It's more a deep feeling of belonging and horror and the emptiness of the universe consuming everything. So you probably feel a lot of that. Her way of referring to me usually has something to do with like a chill on the back of your neck that won't
Ooh.
leave for months at a time and eventually makes you feel like you're being followed. So that's her pet name for me. So maybe
Brrr.
Wow.
yes. I must say, if the great thing about joining my horde is that you also become a child of Mother Death. You become part of the horde. Everyone feels the feelings of death when...
I don't want to be your step sibling.
Fluval,
More
you're
like,
kind of
more
a
like you're
different
my
generation.
child. It's more like a grandchild thing. You don't worry about it too much.
I'm not your grandchild.
You're not dead.
See, Fluval, this is... See, the answers are subjective, but their scoring is also subjective, so it works out. See, B1BBR gets at.
Okay, well,
I explained this to you.
I might have been zoning out a
Is this
little bit at the
another
beginning of
Horde
this show.
franchise? Well, Horde Jedi already is partnered, so they...
Why don't you move on to your next question then?
Bachelors. If you were Galaxar the Planet Eater, which part of me would you eat first? Ew, Rickie Jr. You know a lot about eating. You answer first.
Pizza.
The thing is that a lot of people, they eat each other like they eat a slice of pizza. They start with the gooeyest bit first, and then they kind of work their way to the harder bits. But if I was a planet eater, I think I would start off with the hard, crunchy bits of you. The parts where you really just exhibit all of that hate and all of that, contempt for humanity. I would start there, and then I would work my way towards the gooier parts, like, how you feel about Fluval and such.
Okay, interesting.
I heard that New York style people eating is when you fold them in half first.
What about
I've
the
seen
one
it
where you
done.
cut off the corners?
Oh, you make them a square? That's
Yeah.
Detroit style.
NC, this is rated NC 7000. If you aren't 7,000 years old, you really shouldn't be watching. But that was part of the appeal of the show. We talked about this, Fluval, while I was cleaning your tank every single day for the past 50 years.
Sorry, I'm just vibing.
I'm so glad for you. I'm so glad for you. All right, Slutty Bane, what part of me would you eat first?
Something, what do you want me to say? Dude, probably, the sex part?
No, I don't know. Could you be clearer?
I couldn't really make out any of the words you said, so at least repeat what you just said.
Probably if I was gonna eat, probably would be like, the sex part.
Oh, you'd eat the sex part. I mean, that's an
Okay.
answer. That's an answer.
All right.
Thank you, Slutty Bane, for that answer.
You know.
It's intern time.
All right. No one has said giblets. That's very true, CPL 33020.
Also, no one has said they just unhinge their jaw and swallow you whole. Like
We
a snake.
haven't heard from the Great Necromancer yet.
I'm just saying, no one had said it yet.
Yeah, but you might have just like given away an answer. Like we wanted to hear.
Oh yeah, because this show really
talks about this. There's confessionals where
this show discourages cheating for sure. We have a problem with that on so many levels.
It's a different show. We talked about this. Great Necromancer, how would you eat me?
I mean, to be honest, Fluval sort of gave it away. I was going to point out that the planet consumer to which we are referring eats planets whole, and as such would have more than enough capacity to swallow you in one bite, if not just to take you just fully down the gullet, and, perhaps you might even just be dissolved by stomach acid.
The great pit of Carcoon.
Yes.
What wonderful day.
Oh, here's the subtitles for Slutty Bane.
Okay, now we understand.
I appreciate the subtitles.
Very clear, Slutty Bane.
Thank you, Slutty Bane.
But I suppose if it were me personally taking on this task.
Well, it's you if you were the Planet Eater.
Yeah.
Oh well, then if I were the Planet Eater, I would just throw you down.
That's correct. That's the correct answer. See, Fluval, some of these questions have correct answers.
Uh-huh.
All right, let's get to your next trivia.
Yeah, here we go. Our next trivia question. This is question number 8. Here we go. Who hosted the dating game and later claimed the show was a cover for his work as a CIA assassin? Was that Alex Trebek, Chuck Barris, Richard Dawson, or Steve Harvey, who famously is also a judge? Do you know the answer? One of the is what true that they claimed this? Yes.
No, that they were a CIA assassin.
That is unclear because Chuck Barris, who is the correct answer, in his 1984 autobiography, said that it was true and then walked back the claim later that year in an appearance on the Today Show. But in 2010, he once again muddled things by saying he would never clarify whether or not he had in fact worked for the CIA. George Clooney played him in the movie based on his autobiography, Confessions of a Dangerous Mind.
Wow, okay.
He also hosted The Gong Show.
So interesting.
And I'm hearing the gong, so here we go to the leaderboard. We're playing that question off. Where Pizza the Fadson's in first, Ish in second, A Little Pee-Pee in third. Bootleg Bart in fourth, and Stephen Premmel in fifth. Oh, wait, no, yeah. Sorry, you're right. Sam Rockwell played him. George Clooney directed it.
Whoa.
I mean,
Okay.
Sam Rockwell's a great actor, too.
I had briefly drifted into another timeline where George Clooney played him, but in this one, Sam Rockwell played him and Clooney directed.
Kristie, who would play you if a celebrity was to be the great Kristie the intern?
Oh my god.
Now, who would play you intern stunt casting?
Who could capture, like, all of my brutality, but also, like, my charisma and, like, just really hard-working dedication and devotion?
Charlize Theron, says Jess Fatson Montgomery. Charlize Theron.
That's a good one.
Furiosa herself.
I like that. I also was, who's that?
Michael Cera plays young Chuck Barris.
Oh. Who's the actor who plays an alien in a lot of things?
Tilda Swinton.
Yes!
Yeah, do you mean Tilda Swinton? Who
Yes,
played...
I do! Rickie Jr.
Doug Jones also plays a lot of aliens. Or Watto, says Jess Fatson Montgomery.
Watto!
And Doug
Watto's
Jones.
great. That's a good option.
Who would play you in a movie, Rickie Jr.?
Oh, probably Michael Cera. I mean, I'm a wet blanket. We all know it. So
That checks out. Slutty Bane, who would play you?
I feel like maybe Christian Bale. For some reason.
Interesting.
Bale.
I thought you were more of a Tom Hardy type, but yeah, Christian Bale's a good choice.
Who's Tom Hardy?
He's Venom. Let
the devil in Alien.
Let the devil in Alien, as Eminem so famously told us all to do. Great Necromancer, who would play you in a movie?
Oh, I don't know. Could anyone really capture it? Could anyone really get the cold-heartedness? I think perhaps, who was, oh, goodness, who was that character who played, oh, no, I can't think of it. I'm sorry. There's no one.
Oh,
If you can find someone living who can play me, please bring me their body so I can make myself another body, because I'll very much love that. But no, I don't want anyone to play me, you know? I don't want my likeness captured. If I'm going to make propaganda, I'll just record my own face. After all, it is the one that leads my masses of followers.
Wow.
So you want to be like
#skullboss.
So you want to do a Clint Eastwood movie where you get to play yourself like those two soldiers on a train?
Yeah. I could do the full thing. You know, I could direct, I could produce, I could star in it. I don't know. I think I could do it.
Oh, I totally think you could do it.
I'd be played by Nemo.
You've got the hustle.
Nemo would play me. It would be Nemo's big return to acting, playing against type.
Yep.
Really, I see you as well like a Will Smith character from a Shark Tale.
Ooh, that's a great choice. Ooh, do you think Martin Scorsese would be willing to play a fish again?
I don't see why not. He did it before. He'll do it again.
And he has those powerful eyebrows. I think they'd bring a new twist to my character.
Honestly, I could see you being played very well by John Malkovich.
Oh.
My secret is I'm not a very good actor. As he famously told his castmate in a movie.
Amazing indeed. Did we even get to your question? No, we just took that detour down the movie thing.
My fault, and I apologize.
No, look, this is one of the few things you don't need to apologize for, Rickie Jr. That was a good little tangent.
Same page for a moment. It's almost like we were working together towards a shared goal.
What?
Oh, so I'm still in the running?
Sure.
Rickie Jr., if you were a medieval torture device, which one would you be and why?
Oh, well, I think that's actually pretty easy. Imagine an Iron Maiden, except rather than spikes, it's just a whole bunch of really hot metal, and you're encased in it, and you slowly bake until the outside of you is nice and crispy, but the inside is gooey and really stringy. Basically, it's like a pizza oven, but an Iron Maiden.
I love that.
That is a devious answer.
They had a pizza oven style torture devices. Great answer.
Now that's amore.
That is amore. Great Necromancer. What about you?
Oh, well, I would definitely have to be a small spoon. With which you slowly, methodically scrape every last bit of skin and muscle and sinew all the way down to bone. Because the best way, honestly, to do it when you're going to ceremonially create a skeleton is to use a small silver spoon while the creature's still alive.
That's a wonderful thing. I love how it captures the freshness. Maintains the sense of pain, suffering. Love it.
Slutty Bane.
Or to take a little spoonful for yourself, get a little snack there. It's wonderful.
It is wonderful. What question did you have for Slutty Bane, Fluval?
I was just gonna ask Slutty Bane which torture device they would be, because this question got me interested.
Oh, we're working together! Yay! Slutty Bane! Answer Fluval!
Have you heard of a fucking machine?
A fucking machine?
A fucking machine. You know, there's like a crank system and like a stick, and then there's like a thing on the stick, and and it goes in and then it goes out.
I mean, it feels pretty self-explanatory as far as the machine.
Yeah, it's a fucking machine.
The chair from Burn After Reading, where the yeah.
A fucking machine. Okay.
A fucking machine.
I don't really see why that's a torture device.
Well,
we don't need to go too far into that, but what we do need to do is go into our trivia, which begins again now. Here we go. I don't have a seg. Oh, it's the sex part. Thank you, Slutty Bane, for that subtitle once again. Here we go. Who hosted Baggage, the show where a dater chooses between 3 potential partners who wheel out suitcases full of their secrets? Was that Andy Cohen, Jerry Springer, Ryan Seacrest, or me, Fluval, Grand Trivia Master of the Grand Aquarium Empire? Who hosted Baggage? Do any of you know the answers to this question?
I mean, now
It's a TV show on the Game Show Network.
Wow.
And it's Jerry Springer. That's right. It's former Cincinnati Mayor Jerry Springer. He hosted the show from 2010 to 2012, and some of the secrets revealed on this show include I pee in the sink, I leave men for not chewing properly, and I dumped an ex by stranding him in a foreign country.
What the hell?
Yeah, there's also other ones. There's so many secrets, but you know what's not secret?
What?
Our leaderboard, where Ish has taken first, a little PP in second, Bootleg Bard in third, Stephen Premel in fourth, and Pizza the Fadson in fifth, and Ish's streak has continued with 8 correct answers in a row, meaning they've only missed 1 so far in our game of trivia. Yes, Rickie Jr.
I just don't like to see pizza fall. That's all.
That's fair. Ooh, we have a request, Fluval, for a confessional.
Where do the contestants stand in your current ranking so far in this game of Intern of Love?
Wow. So far, I feel like Slutty Bane is really single-minded on being slutty. But they're so creative in their sluttiness that I really can't count them out. The Great Necromancer feels like they're the person most on my level. I so admire someone #skullbossing their way across the multiverse. But they have such a strong brand identity and idea of what they're going to do with their self and business. I just wonder how that's going to fit into my devotion to Fluval.
I mean, the devotion to me is an incredibly important part, I have to say.
Absolutely.
Also, Ish only missed the first one because they forgot to log into trivia, but their knowledge of bad dating shows is worrying them.
You should be worried, Ish. You should be worried.
Now it's time for your question.
Now it's time
that
for
was
my question.
And that was my penultimate question, so I think it's going to be an ad break after your question.
Okay. Rickie Jr. I like a partner who knows what they want. Can I hear your best groveling?
Oh, sure.
Grovel!
Kristie, please help save my business. It's been 3 generations of Rickies, and we can't have it fail with me. I know that I'm not up to it, but please, Kristie, you're my only hope. If I became your intern and we were working together, because I know you like to work together, then you could help make Rickie's Just Pizza Pizzeria the actual multi-dimensional franchise that it needs to be, and not just a meteor falling into a black hole.
Okay.
What do you feel about the fact that Rickie Jr. cribbed from Leia Organa in that pleading?
You know, I love someone who references the greats, obviously.
Of course.
But, you know, Leia was someone who really, worked hard for herself, okay? A lot more like a #skullboss.
Oh, Leia was a classic skullboss.
I find it very interesting that Rickie Jr. is invoking her while begging me to save his business. So, Slutty Bane, let's hear your best groveling.
Groveling is like when you have 4 dicks in your mouth at the same time. Is that what that is? Okay, I think it's something like.
Thank you, Slutty Bane.
Great Necromancer, let's hear your groveling.
No. Sorry, no.
A decisive answer.
Decisive answer.
Wow, I'm impressed.
I'm also impressed.
Let's get a confessional from the Great Necromancer.
I don't grovel. I'm sorry, I don't know. Maybe you misunderstood what I was here for, but I'm here for more followers. Groveling would be counterproductive. Darling, no, I don't grovel.
Magnificent.
It's almost as magnificent as this new show coming right here soon in your dimension.
When things got hard for one, the other stayed grounded. No obstacle was insurmountable when they had each other in sight. But now, their faith in each other will be put to the ultimate test. Love in free fall. Those who climb together fall together in love. Only on Radio Free Multiverse.
Wow, that sounds like a really
What a
fun
great show.
What a great show. What
Thank
a
you for
great idea that maybe someone said in the cafeteria and then someone else decided to take and make before they had a chance to because they were too busy cleaning hats.
Well, maybe you need to get your ideas like actually executed by you before someone else can take them.
If I didn't have so many hats to clean, I could. I'm so proud to serve you, Fluval.
You should be. I'm pretty great.
I'm so proud to serve you. You're right, Stephen Bremmel. You're right.
Speaking of pride, let's go to our final trivia question of today's show. Here we go. You know, towns can engage in courtship too. In 2020, Tulsa, Oklahoma transformed the Golden Driller statue into a caricature of which tech billionaire? Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, or Johnny Dolphin? Quixotic Ventures, famed intergalactic tycoon and CEO. But what did Tulsa, Oklahoma create? Do any of you know the answer to this question as all our players are getting their answers in?
Unfortunately, yes. I'm not going to share it, obviously, because why would I help you? But
I mean, sure.
Right. But unfortunately, I do know this one.
It's
Question.
Slutty Bane.
Did you just run out of dating show questions?
I just wanted to expand I wanted to show how expansive dating can be. This is also dating. This is the town of Tulsa, Oklahoma trying to date Elon Musk by getting him to move there and build his gigafactory.
I believe they're courting him, so it sort of works.
It's like, thematically it ties together, but yes, I did run out of dating show questions that were interesting.
That's also fair.
Yeah, that's Fluval, something that if you had talked to me beforehand, we could have planned for.
Yeah, but then I wouldn't get to show this picture of the Tesla driller.
Oh my. Oh my.
Look at his powerful face and his powerful hand.
I don't like how they managed to whitewash a statue that didn't have a race before.
Also, I like that they changed his belt buckle from Tulsa to Tesla.
This is who Stephen Bremmel worships now.
He looks kind of like a superhero, but not a good one, you know? Like, sort of.
So this is also why, as I saw this photo and I was like, well, you know what? I'm going to make it fit. I don't care. I'm working this in somehow.
Horrible. The more
And it was-
people
It
build
kind
a
of
living
seems like they
thing,
have
it's
something to say,
terrible.
bud.
Don't like it.
I like it. A Tulsa Tesla works for Redactron.
Why are
Also,
the
he-
nostrils so big?
He didn't move there. That's the best part, is it didn't work. He still built it in Texas.
I think we've killed Slutty Bane.
I think we've killed Slutty Bane, so why don't we now... Let's look at whose dreams are dying by going to our podium. In third place with 8 out of 10 correct, it's Ish. In second place with 8 out of 10 correct, it's Bootleg Bart. And in first place with 8 out of 10 correct, it's a little PP, a little potential partner. Stephen Bremmel in fourth, and I believe Pizza the Hut in fifth.
A little PP for your physical prize. Please DM us on Twitter, Discord, or Instagram your address, and we will send you a prize.
That's right. Oh, and one BBBR got a deranged anthropomorphic pizza in the app.
Oh.
But that's not the only prize you're all gonna get. There's this one that you all can share. But that's just the end of one of our games. Our other game has one more question left.
One more question, and then I will decide who wins getting to be the intern of my heart. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna get their application? Who's gonna get the job? Wow. Fluval, did you switch out my questions?
No. Well, I mean...
All right, here we go.
Sure, go for it.
Junior,
This is a great question.
We were both spotted. We were both at a bar, and you spotted me across the room, and you decided to shoot your shot.
Ooh.
What gives you the audacity to think I want anything to do with you, Rickie Jr.
Well, honestly, it's probably because you're in my restaurant, which means that I am, in fact, there to serve you. So I would shoot my shot by coming on over and giving you a slice of pie on the house. And, of course, I do, again, need to stipulate, I mean pizza, not pie of any sort other than pizza. But...
okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, you get some key lime pie. Interesting.
No, we don't have pie at all. Just pizza.
Slutty Bane, what gives you the audacity?
To this question, I have only one answer.
Yes.
What gives me the audacity?
The sex part.
I have a big dick.
The big ol' slanging dick.
I have a giant fucking cock.
That is audacious.
Where the audacity comes from?
Thank you so much for that answer, Slutty Bane. Great Necromancer, what gives you the audacity?
I mean, I was going to say death, but Slutty Bane's answer is honestly better. Like, 100% better. I don't have any schlong, and I will admit that it is very difficult to approach people knowing that I don't. So honestly, compared to Slutty Bane, I don't think I have the audacity. I think I can approach someone and force them to join my army and kill them and slice their bones. Like, you know, the normal stuff. But I don't think I have the audacity.
Something in Rickie Jr.'s favor is that Rickie Jr. has started a war in our comment sections where Lindsay Premel says, can we skip the pie and get cheesecake? Stephen Premel says no. Lindsay says, you gotta stop. Lindsay says yes. Steven says fine. Lindsay says good. Steven says great. Lindsay says fantastic. Steven says stupendous. Lindsay says wonderful. Steven says extemporaneous. Lindsay says excellent. Steven says terrific. And Lindsay says fabulous. This fight has begun in our comment section. The Pebble War begins. Who wins? Will they get cheesecake or will they have pie?
Will they get
Mom
cheesecake?
and Dad don't fight, says a guy named Matty.
Pie? All right, everyone.
Who's our winner?
Is our winner of Intern of My Heart.
Intern of Love, or is it Intern of... See, this is why I just called it Dating Show, because it didn't seem like you had really settled on a title.
Fluval, that's because you kept changing the title and telling me that we weren't allowed to do the previous title because you had already copyrighted it and you were sitting on the website to try and get a ransom. Today, the winner is... No one, of course not. It's Fluval. It's this show didn't work. We're not going to show this one to the network. You win, Fluval. It'll just be trivia from now on. Okay?
I'm not gonna win.
I'm not going to try to inject anything new into this show.
No.
God forbid. I try and make us more attractive to the network. Maybe get us some more opportunities. Get you hosting some of the bigger multiversal shows. Outside of just this
thank you, Jess Madsen. This is how I win. All hail me. to celebrate that, let's look at some of the great programming that comes here to the Great Aquarium Empire Network before we say goodbye to all our losers.
Critics are saying that Tether of Love is the hottest reality show in TV history.
Everyone in the multiverse wants to be tethered to peepees.
Real people.
Energy beings get pretty much whatever we want.
Real tethers.
Oh my god! This is too much.
Real problems.
Why can't I simply eat the PPs and gain their power?
Tether of Love, Tuesdays at 11, only on the Grand Aquarium Empire Network.
There's a show coming to you Tuesdays at 11.
Tuesdays at 11. Thank you so much to our potential partners that came. Do you have anything to plug? Rickie Jr., go first.
As always, look out for Rickie's Just Pizza Pizzeria, found just on every corner across the multiverse, where I, Rickie Jr., will be able to serve you the best slice of pizza you've ever had in any one of your lives.
Wow, thank you
so much, Rickie Jr.
Slutty Bane, do you have anything to plug?
Somebody that I slept with recently told me about this show on Monday nights at 7 called World's Hottest Golf. Twitch.tv/the Boardcastle. Pretty good, probably. I have good taste in fuck, so.
That is a great point. Everyone, check it out. The Board Castle.
And it's 10 p.m.
Mondays,
Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific.
7 p.m. Pacific.
And I believe you've even been on there.
That's true. Friends. Oh yeah, I did show up there to murder someone.
Yeah, you did. You showed up there with Gooby Gary to murder someone.
I go so many places to murder people. It all sort of blends together. But
Arthur from NASA was also there.
Out. Everyone should check it out.
Great Necromancer, what would you like to plug?
Listen, life is overrated. Join me. You get a month off every millennia. Limited sentience. The feeling of, anguish within you at all times. Honestly, it's the best gig. And you should come, and you should join me, and you should join my army, and we should ride together across the multiverse. Please.
That's true. You can become the Great Necromancer's ride and die by teaming up with them.
That was a really good one, Fluval.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Of course it was, because I'm very funny.
Thank you all so much for joining us. If you would like to get physical objects sent to you in the mail, please join our Patreon, patreon.com/Radio Free Multiverse. And we are going to be seeing you pretty soon.
We have your coordinates.